Good afternoon. You're welcome to the studios of Poly TV Ilaro. This is a new week and the program is new as such. We call it Newspaper Review and Analysis. My name is Femi Olabi, your regular anchor, and I have a regular face here seated with me. He is Mr. Simon Fakeye. Mr. Simon Fakeye, you remember I told you, he's a journalist, he's a publisher as well as public affairs analyst. Mr. Fakeye, you're welcome here once again.
Thank you.
You're looking cool, reserved. I hope you had a nice time during the weekend, especially during the Val celebration.
Yeah. Based on that, I will say yes, because, as you know, going to the genesis of what we now celebrate as VA, it's not necessary to be between married couples. So it could be a kind of agape love, not necessarily erotic. So I really enjoy it within my environment because for some years now, I've begun to develop interest in my source, Yewa land and Ilaro in particular. It has become my home. So I begin to express more love, more likes, and see how better we could forge ahead about necessary development.
Thank you very much. I quite agree with you. You know, love permeates the world. God loves us.
Yes.
That is why He created us, and He gave us rules to follow, to love each other, to love our community, to love our neighbor, for peace and tranquility to reign.
That's it.
Thank you very much. We set sail into the program as usual, and we'll go into details of what we want to do today. I begin with the front page of the Tribune newspaper, and Tribune says, NLC demands new power sector roadmap. There are riders to that report. Calls for National Stakeholders Summit, says 10 years after privatization, the country still in darkness. Queries federal government's plan to pay 3 trillion naira to Gencos, reiterates its condemnation for banned dichotomy, insists electricity not a luxury but necessity. And this paper is saying Nigeria is still in darkness over 10 years after the privatization.
It's correct. Mm-hmm.
And NLC is demanding new power sector roadmap. What do you have to say to that?
Yes, what they have demanded is the right thing. But in overall, when you look at the whole thing, the blame is not going to be for the federal government alone. You blame it on the NLC also, because they are the one now requesting, demanding for all this and that. But because you know that the decision makers in NLC are mostly senior cadet civil servants. You have the directors and permanent secretaries. I think I'm correct. Mm-hmm. Good. These are decision makers, the policy makers in the ministry. Mm-hmm. These are the ones driving, to me, when we look at the policies that guides economy and even governance. So they are in charge at the state and federal level. So what have they been doing? This set of people, I mean the permanent secretaries in particular, are the one driving policy, in the sense that they are the one to tell government, let's say Mr. President, that look, this is the type of infrastructure we need at so place. Let's specify on the issue of this power supply now, that yes, the power is not stable, you want to electrify, we want to improve on the turbine gas and all of that. They are the one to make budget also. They are the one to prepare budget for government. Now, at the same time, they are the one to supervise the project. And they are the one to certify it. The issue of privatization cannot be done without their input, even major input. So to what extent have they supervised and certified what really has been the end result of such privatization. They have been carried along in all of this. So if they are now demanding, government should also demand from them that please, who certify this project or this infrastructure, the provision for electrification to be of a quality standard. So I will call on them. As much as they are calling on government, we have to call on the permanent secretaries around the country, all ministries, that they should be conscious of the outcome of whatever policy they drafted, the budget they presented, and the infrastructure or projects they monitored. Because they are the one to tell government that, yeah, that contractor has really performed that road construction. He has carried it out according to the plans. Then the next 2-3 days, you see the road or the construction being depleting. So if we really need a stable power, stable power supply in Nigeria, then those like permanent secretaries should be held responsible. Whatever government is planning to do, it should have external monitor. Now, they are demanding, what is it all about? That government should set up another private
economic summit, electricity summit.
Electricity summit. At the end of the day, who are going to supervise it? They are the one. So even from the state government to the federal government, I'm calling on them. I'm calling on them to please be conscious of the outcome of whatever government involved them, because they are collecting salaries for all they do. So they should be objective of what becomes of Nigeria as a result of their service to the nation.
Okay, let's leave that and go to politics, because we know that 2027 is fast approaching, and it's like every new day we hear of a new things prior to what is going to happen in 2027.
Yeah.
We'll begin with the National Assembly, and I'm going to the front page of Vanguard newspaper, which says, Electoral Act harmonization, reps under pressure to abandon compulsory e-transmission of results. The last time the Senate had an emergency session, and the Senate quite adopted electronic transmission of results and backed by a manual transmission if electronic transmission failed. And I know that there was a conference, a large conference that was inaugurated to meet with the House of Representatives with a view to harmonizing their stand on it. Now we heard that the House of Reps are under pressure now to abandon compulsory e-transmission of results. What exactly is happening here?
Well, that pressure maybe is coming from the government, because the general masses, Nigerian citizens, majority, okay, let's say to some extent, some of them wanted manual e-transmission. So for the House of Reps, who put forward e-transmission, now wanted to abandon it. Yeah, the pressure is necessary to have come from the federal government or the Senate, who are of the opinion that it should be backed up with manual, subject to the discretion of the INEC chief. So, whichever way, I have two opinions. The first one is that earlier I maintained that INEC should stick with that decision of e-transmission back up with manual procedure in case, because of our unstable power supply and incessant interruption of service, network service providers. So, but now the second opinion is that now that some oppositions have now come up to say that no, they want e-transmission. I look at the budget of INEC, about ₦1 trillion is a big and huge amount of money that is capable of doing anything for this particular election. I tried to do some research about how Ghana did it. So I found out that, yes, in some areas where there was power failure or network failure, they just tried to agree that, okay, this has to be transmitted manually, and at the end of the day, the news out there has been that Ghana succeeded in doing e-transmission for its election. So as the giant of Africa, as we claim to be, and going also by the amount of money budgeted for the election, I think all that's necessary now is that we need to back up the security of INEX portal. So, and that can be achieved in weeks or months. So it's a matter of getting more hands than normal. So that's, okay, this is the assignment, we want you to get it done in so weeks, in so months. So to avoid the hacking that we all have been be afraid of, is a matter of getting enough cybersecurity around INEC portal. INEC was asking the other day for separate server. It can be achieved, it can be done. If at least to say that, yes, Nigeria have moved an edge, then in tally with what Ghana has offered. So it's not too much of what Nigeria can do. Yes, in spite of whatever challenges lies ahead. INEC has the money, and Nigeria has the technical know-how on how to go about that. And if they don't have, they can seek assistance or help from other countries, and even ask Ghana. If the network, instant failure in network service is a problem, let's ask Ghana, how did they go about it? If they have used another network aside from the regular and the popular MTN, let them tell us, then we contact them. And I'm aware that their source of power is Nigeria, if I'm correct. Then if you can supply them and they can use a stable power supply from our own Kanji Dam, then we can do more then. So if INEC or government or the ruling party did not have an ulterior motive, this is achievable, they can do it. But going by the politicians and a different species Nigerian is made up, yeah, if we are going for e-transmission, let's have manual backup as Ghana has done, so to get out of this mess. For the House of Rep, there's reason for them to have pressure to abandon it because of political interests. So that's my opinion.
Okay, well taken. We still move forward in the politics. We go into the front page of the Punch newspaper. And the Punch says, emergency plenary, National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February 13. Emergency plenary, National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February. Last weekend, INEC came out with the timetable for the next general election. And we had one for March 6 and another one for February 20-something. But now, I think the pressure is now on National Assembly. There were calls all through the weekend by the Northern Bloc that the election, next year election, should be moved backward so as to allow for the observance of Ramadan, because they say that period is the peak of the next year's Ramadan. Now National Assembly is now considering another plenary to move or to shift the presidential poll backward. I don't know what you think about that, because ordinarily, that's my own personal opinion, ordinarily I don't think Ramadan should prevent anybody from carrying out his civic responsibility, but I don't know of yours.
Yes, my opinion is more of being reserved. I'm a Christian, and in Nigeria, you know, whatever we intend to say, we must be careful of the sensitivity of religion as far as this country is concerned. I have many Muslim friends. Yeah, but as of this issue, I think I will share your opinion that are we going to the bathroom? Voting is something that's not require physical fitness. So you just go to the polling booth and cast your vote. So that is the area I share your views, that it's not necessary that they shift the election. But on the other way around, for Nigeria as a religious country, and the northern part so volatile. So I would say that let's then move it. We don't know to what extent election has been requesting for their physical fitness. So if that is it, as much as we don't lose anything by shifting it to on the 13th, let's go for it. We lose nothing. And for the benefit of whatever reason they have, I support it. I support the shifting.
Okay, still not talking about 2027 related stories. And we know that very soon electioneering campaign will start. And politicians are already in the thick of throwing up every kind of information, either to discredit their opposition or to support whatever. I will go to the front of the Tribune newspaper. This is a minor report on the masthead. Nigeria's Tax Act 2025 does not impose 25% tax on building materials. We daily debunk Amechi's claim. Former Transport Minister Rotimi Amechi last weekend was trying to trump up an information that this present administration, the implementation of the new tax law this year, government is going to adopt 25% tax on certain commodities, probably to discredit the government, or I don't know his mission. Now the man at the helm of the National Revenue Service is saying, there's nothing like that. It is not part of the new tax law that was adopted and implemented. I don't know what you have to say to politicians trying to hit up politics.
That has been my opinion. Unnecessarily. That has been their job. That was the reason I have been asking them, pleading the politician, that please, this time around, be sincere for once. This issue that former transport minister raised is not to be given much attention. I would have just liked to ask him, the former minister, that please show us your statement of accounts for last month, or if he's referring to this month, let him show us his statement of account for this month, where it's whatever he bought for building materials and all of that has reflected that yes, tax have been deducted from his the money spent. Because last month I remember this same government tax official was saying that let everybody, civil servant, look at their salary or their statement of account, how much has been deducted as the tax, the tax deduction, that whatever amount has been deducted will not be up to what has been deducted from the previous months. So from the calculations, we all know that the middle class will be paying less. Even the upper class, as much as they pay more, there are areas, incentives that will ensure that they, at the end of the day, pay less compared to what they've been paying. So we have to be sincere, have this sincerity of purpose to ensure that Nigeria move forward. Politicians as they are, that is what they are in this country. They are not being sincere. They use every opportunity to campaign against the ruling president. So I will urge them that these are the issues that can make the country move forward. So they should desist from using it as their campaign point.
Okay, I'll move to the Vanguard newspaper. There is a minor report on the front page of Vanguard newspaper which says 2027 Obi finally declares for ADC, vows to defy ballot rigging. That put to rest the insinuation or the rumor or the misgiving that where is exactly Obi is going. Obi has declared for ADC now. Presidential candidate.
Yeah, it's good for
presidential
aspirant. It's good for him. We saw two instances. One of my senior colleagues in the UK sent a video to me. In that video, the people who pro-obese, they met at a meeting, and one of them stood up and said all they needed from Peter Obi is for him to declare his intention to run for the office of the president and leave the rest for them. That the man said specifically that he will ensure that he hacked the INEC portal to enable rigging for him. The man said it on video. So that is on that. Then secondly, what Obi and his party has achieved now is more division than what he experienced during the last election, 2023. Now that then we had PDP, APC, and Labour Party. I think he contested under Labour Party.
Labour Party, yes. And
Labour Party was a result of breakup from PDP. Mm-hmm. Then we have ANPP, which belonged to Kwakwanso. Kwakwanso was member... NNPP, fine. Thank you. So Kwakwanso was a member of PDP. So during that, before the election, PDP broke up into 3 parties. The APC remained 1. So the whole vote that's supposed to go for one party, which was PDP, was divided among the 3. At the end of the day, the oneness in APC gave them the winning number. They've started again. Obi left Labour, then Labour also splitted and they got ADC. We have Labour. I wouldn't know which party is going to contest from now. So whichever way, there have been divisions in that camp. At the end of the day, we'll be shouting rigging when you have divided home or houses. So whatever he has agreed to do now, that he wanted to contest, fine. Let us see how he's going to, or he planned to be law-abiding in considering his followers' intention to rig the election for him and his own positions on the Nigeria diversity, the Igbo caucus, the Hausa caucus, the Northern caucus, and the Southwest. So whichever way, at the end of the day, it's a good thing that he has declared his intention to run, and I wish him all the best. But he should be careful and work around what division among his loyalists could cause for him, remembering what happened during the last election.
Okay, we move forward to an economic story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Guardian newspaper says, port users pay more as Nigeria Customs Service recreate multiple foreign exchange regime, add 7% margin. Port users pay more as Customs Service recreate multiple foreign exchange regime, add 7% margin. The port users, as it were, they were now shouting that the Nigerian government is not making the various ports in the country friendly for use for them. That the taxes they are paying on their importation is rather alarming. That is counterproductive in my view.
Okay. Yeah, the information is strange to me because to some extent I've been following what happens at the maritime. And all I know is that customs has been in regular meeting, update, negotiation, and in good working term with the port users. That is my understanding, especially under the leadership of CGC Adeniyi. So they have been in good term in terms of this issue of taxes and all of that. I think they are now using, during the weekend or yearly during the week, the CGC launched, they call it one shop something to avoid all these unnecessary
multiple taxation.
Yes, multiple taxation. I wouldn't believe that. I would like to research deeper into what has caused it. But all I know is that the CGC, led by Adeniyi, has been has brought about many improvements in terms of generating revenue for the country and making things easier in terms of operating at the port for the port users. So I want to see it as conflicting a story compared to what happens really at the maritime.
I think the Controller General of Nigerian Customs should interrogate this, should investigate this, so as to put spade to whatever insinuation is that. The claim or the allegation by importers before was that Nigerian ports were not friendly. That is why they go to the neighboring countries to use their port and bring goods into Nigeria. If this is true, I think
it can be. That have been yesteryears, because there have been a genuine and working partnership between Nigeria Customs and the Republic of Benin Customs. So they have many things doing in common. So the Comptroller General of Customs, Comptroller Adeni, is working, and Nigerian port is improving. The revenue generation thing is really, they are really performing. All the controllers that work in recent years, in the last 2 years at the port, I think I know some of them personally. They've been doing fine. The result, we report their activities. So I don't think there is much problem at the port now.
All right. Because of our time is fast spent, we will be rounding up with this story, the furore between El-Rufai and the Office of the National Security Advisor. Last week, El-Rufai was raising an alarm that Nigerian government may likely arrest him. And we discovered that during the last weekend, he evaded arrest. There was an attempt to arrest him somewhere in the country, and he wasn't able to get that done. Now, El-Rufai is alleging that the Office of the National Security Advisor has imported some poisonous, odorless gas, at least to attack, if not him, but the opposition. And the presidency is saying no. Alleged imported toxic chemicals. Ribadu replied, El-Rufai debunked the story. That is on the front page of a Tribune newspaper. What do you have to say there?
Yes. If I were former Governor El-Rufai, I will have decided to keep short before now. So for him to be saying all this when he has received invitation from the EFCC and escape, let me put it that way, and attempted arrest, okay? So it's not good for a person of his status. It is a way of telling Nigerians that he's devastated, he's desperate, he's not in good mental balance. So now you have issues to answer, and you are accusing or alleging the person to which you are to report. So I don't see the best strategy for him to escape all these things. So he needed somebody who can calm him down to be able to see through all that is ahead of him. The issue of the poisonous chemical that is alleged that they want to use for him and all of that is another way of leaking the secret of the country. So government might wanted to use it for something beneficial for the country than him coming out to expose all these things. So I think the earlier the better for government to get him tamed as far as national security is concerned. Yeah, that is my opinion. It's releasing too much of confidential statements. It can really affect, especially this time around when we have battle against terrorists here and there, when they try to attack them here, they move to the other end. So we are in a very sensitive condition now. So we shouldn't allow leaking of confidential information. It can really backfire for the country.
Okay, the message is sent, and I hope whoever it is responsible to listen and hear has learned one or two things. We from Poly TV would like to implore politicians, as it were, that we should think first of our country before ourselves, and that will be the good thing for all of us. Thank you again for your thoughts, Mr.
It's
Simon.
my pleasure. Thank you.
That was the newspaper review and analysis, Mr. Simon Fakeye. Immediately after this timeout, I will be hosting somebody that is known within FPI. He will be talking about everything you want to know about linkages and affiliation. We call it top up for short. And my guest will be Barrister Hakeem Daudu. Barrister Hakeem Daudu was the immediate past Dean, Student Affairs, and is now the Director in charge of linkages and affiliation at FPI. Don't go away.